This is side 2. We now return to local news with Joan, who will start with sports.
And the sport I'm starting with is Ellenborough Table Tennis Club's Jasmine Chan. That's Jasmine Chan, who belongs to that club. Claimed her first title of the 2013 to 2014 season with victory at the 2-star table tennis tournament in St. Ives. Chan made easy work of progressing to the finals of both the junior and cadet events, the former including a convincing 3-0 win over the fast-improving Molly Patterson. In the final of the cadet competition, Chan lost a closely fought match against England number 15, Tiana Dennison. It could have been Tiana, but I'm not sure. There are not two N's there. So I'll say it again. Tiana Dennison, 11-9, 11-9, 9-11, 11-9. 12-year-old Chan gained confidence from the match and started the junior final against Dennison strongly. So there.
And now for some rugby union. An understrength Enfield Ignatian side made a disappointing start to their London Division 2 North East campaign on Saturday as they suffered a 42-10 loss at home to Rochford 100. The home side found themselves trailing 19-3 at the interval, and things got worse for them during a second half which saw Sean Engelbrecht, Wes Warren and Sean Quinn all sent to the sin bin. Tan Mbanu scored a try for Ignatians, with Jordan Wilson adding a conversion and penalty. Rochford were the more clinical side, said coach Emil Hertz. Practically each time they got into our 22, they came away with points. Enfield Ignatians visit Braintree on Saturday.
Enfield Town's interest in the FA Cup came to a shuddering halt at their opening hurdle on Saturday as they slumped to a humbling 6-1 defeat at St Albans City in the first qualifying round of the competition. There was actually little to choose between the sides during the opening 30 minutes, but Mark Nowajecki and John Frendo took full advantage of defensive errors to give Southern Premier outfit St Albans a 2-0 lead at the interval. Further goals from Aston Goss and Nowajecki early in the second half effectively settled the tie, and Nowajecki went on to complete his hat-trick before Howard Hall rounded off Town's misery after David Kendall had netted a consolation effort by scoring the 6th late on. Without a doubt, that was the lowest I've felt in my time as a football manager, said boss Stephen Newing. It was humiliating and embarrassing and needs to be put behind us very quickly.
And I have an item on rugby union. Saracens continued their perfect start to the Aviva Premiership season by recording a 44-12 bonus point victory at home to 14-man Gloucester on Sunday. The visitors were always facing an uphill task from the moment that they had Nick Wood dismissed for stamping on Jacques Berger's face inside 2 minutes. And after a sloppy first half display, Sarries eventually took complete control with David Strettle, 2, Joel Tompkins, Chalk Brits and Billy Vunipola scoring tries, and Owen Farrell kicking 19 points. I was very pleased, said Director of Rugby Mark McCall. We did a really professional job, were very good physically and were brilliantly defensively.
Now, I've got quite a number of events at the Dugdale Centre in Enfield for our What's On this week. It's starting with the 1st and 2nd November, which is a children's show called The Pirate Squad. And it's on 1st and 2nd of November at 7 p.m. The next one is on the 6th to the 9th of November at 7:45 p.m. and it is a play called Curtains. And there's a pretty little tiny picture of something in curtains behind him. I'm not sure what the face is. It could be an ass and it could be a donkey. I'm not sure. However, it sounds good. Curtains is the play, 6th to the 9th of November, 7:45 p.m. The next one is on the 12th of November, and it is a cinema show called The Conformist, and that starts at 7:30 p.m. And there's just a small picture again of a solitary man who I think is raising his left hand up, but I'm not sure. The next one is something that lots of people would enjoy, I think. The Magic and Mirth of Tommy Cooper. I hope they've remembered his hat. Held on the 13th of November at 7:30 p.m. Then on the 14th and 15th of November at 8 p.m. is a play called Female Gothic. Very dark, a little bit shown on the left, and nearly a full face, but part of it is concealed with what looks like very bit of black fishnet, but it's only face, so that's all right. Then the following week, the 16th of November, it's Jack the Ripper, an investigation, it says, and that one's on at 7:30 p.m., and all I can see is Jack the Ripper scrawled in red over what could be, I'm not sure. I better not say what I think it might be because it's not. Anyway, let's go to the 17th of November and see what they can offer us there. Oh, now, this one's better picture. It's poetry and jazz done out in blue lights, I think. And it's on the Sunday edition of Poetry and Jazz on the 17th of November at 7:30 p.m. Now we're going to a musical from the 20th all the way to the 30th of November, and it says various times. Sorry, I can't help you more than that, but that's all they tell us. It has a picture of Avenue Q, a musical. Avenue is in white over black, and the Q is a white Q over a red background. I can't think what that means. However, let's go to the 1st of December at 7:30 p.m. and it's Ziggy's with Ian Shaw. And there's a picture of him with his hands over his ears with a sort of autumny colour background. So I don't know what it is he's not listening to, but there we are. 1st of December, 7:30 p.m. Then we come to Al Weiwei Never Sorry cinema showing. It looks like a Chinese gentleman, and if he's not, I apologise, but that's what he looks like. And that's on the 5th of December at 7:30 p.m. And again, I remind you, it's a cinema. All at the Dugdale Centre, www.dugdalecentre, all one word, .co.uk, and it says Enfield, but it doesn't matter whether you put that in or not. I think they'll let you know that when you do it. Well, that looks like a really lovely, interesting time, doesn't it? And if you go, I hope you enjoy it. Sorry if I've not made it too clear, but I can't do better than I've done.
Okay, Joan. Well, I have a whole list of events at the Dugdale, but mine are preceding Joan's, because mine starts in September and go up to October, and then Joan's will follow, okay? So I had, at the Dugdale, it's the new autumn season, right? Firstly, from the 24th until the 28th of September is a farce they're showing, and that's called See How They Run. That could be good. And then on the 29th of September, it's at Ziggy's. It's got Ziggy's here, and that's the Joe Stilgo Trio. Then on the 8th until the 11th of October, it's DPMO, whoever they are, and that says alongside DPMO, Platinum Performing Arts. Then there's on the 10th of October at 7:30 is Pan's Labyrinth, and that will be a film, okay? Then on the 15th to the 17th of October at 7:45 p.m. is Thoroughly Modern Musicals. Okay, that should be fun. On the 18th of October at 7:30 p.m. again is Ellamore in Concert, and it looks as though they're a group. On the 20th of October at 7:30 p.m. is a play, and that's called Zhe, Z-H-E. I'm sorry, I don't know what that's about, but anyway. On the 23rd to the 26th of October, again starting at 7:30 p.m. is a Greek play, and that's called Phonazi o Klefti. Then finally, Julie Dexter is appearing, and that's at Ziggy's again. I don't quite know what that means, but Ziggy's. And that is on 27th of October, on the 27th of October at 7:30 p.m. And again, I'll give you the website, sorry about that, which is www.dugdalecentre.co.uk. And I'm to tell you that tickets are £1 cheaper if you book online, but we don't know the price of the tickets. Sorry about that. Okay? Hope you got all that. Oh, the box office number, incidentally, I don't know, Joan might have told you already, but I'll tell you again, and it's 0208 807 6680. That's the box office number down at the Dugdale in Enfield Town. Okay?
Brilliant. Next for What's On, this is billed as for modern, active, over 50s. And it's the Young at Heart show, which is at Alexandra Palace, London, from the 5th and 6th of October. It's billed as a great family day out, featuring a number of celebrity hosts and interviews, and they include some you might have heard of, some you might not have done, but the Military Wives Choir, there are fashion shows, there's wine tasting, there's an interview with Esther Ranson, there's a free kids play area, there's an Elemis spa bus, whatever that is, there's a technology zone, there's cookery demos, there's food and drink, there's a magic show, there's a swinging 60s band, there's something else called the Swingle Singers, there's some fitness sessions, there's arts and craft, there's seminars, and also hundreds of exhibitors. It looks like it's hosted by the radio DJ Nick Ferrari as well. You'd be glad to know it's actually free tickets, so it's a bit of an exclusive offer. So if you want to register for the show or you're interested in going for free entrance, if you go to www.youngatheartshow.com/free tickets, and you have to quote the promo code NEWS. That's NEWS. And the normal price for tickets is £10. So I'd snap them up now if I were you.
And I have a What's On, but this is in a different vein to my colleagues. It's NHS Enfield, and they have a clinical commissioning group. Enfield Clinical Commissioning Group would like to invite you to its governing body meeting to be held in public on the 25th of September 2013 at 3 o'clock to 4:30 p.m. in the committee room at Holbrook House, Cockfosters Road, Barnet, EN4ODR. Copies of the agenda and meeting papers will be available on our website at www.enfielddccg.nhs.uk from the 18th of September 2013, and paper copies from Ian Pocock, Board Secretary, via reception at Holbrook House, Cockfosters Road, Barnet, EN4ODR, from the 19th of September 2013. Questions about agenda items must be submitted by 12 noon on the 23rd of September to ian.pocock@enfieldccg.nhs.uk and will be taken at the meeting. For further information, please call 020 3688 2827. That's 020 3688 2827 or email ian.pocock@enfieldccg.nhs.uk.
Now I have a letter written by Esther Watts, Dementia Action Alliance Coordinator for the Alzheimer's Society and Chair of Enfield DAA. I'll start it from the beginning. Part of the important work of the newly created Enfield Dementia Action Alliance is to challenge the stigma around dementia, raise awareness, and help to improve the life of people living with dementia and their carers in Enfield. Dementia is the umbrella term for a range of diseases of the brain which cause memory loss, confusion, and changes in mood and behavior. Although some forms of dementia are relentless, many people live long lives after being diagnosed, and you're talking about dementia sufferers, as you did in the Advertiser on September the 11th, will not make it any easier for them. At the Alzheimer's Society, we talk about people living with dementia, which seems especially relevant as it is not only the person with a diagnosis, but their loved ones, their friends and families who also live with the presence of dementia. 75% of people with dementia surveyed in our Dementia 2013 report said they felt lonely. They lose friends and receive fewer visits after diagnosis. We want to create many new dementia friends to make Enfield a more dementia-friendly borough, with heightened awareness for people in shops, council services, voluntary organisations, care homes, and other businesses. We want people with dementia to keep on going about their business in our town for as long as possible, with the support they need to help them live their lives really well. If you are an organisation wishing to join the Enfield Dementia Action Alliance, contact Paul Allen, Commissioning Manager for Enfield, by emailing, and these are all the lower case, paul.allen, double-L, at enfield.gov.uk dash, or me at, and again the lowercase, esther.watts at alzheimers.org.uk. If you are an individual and want to make a difference to people with dementia, visit www.dementiafriends, all one word, .org.uk, or the Alzheimer's Society, capital letters but lowercase, website at www.lowercase again, alzheimers.org.uk. And Esther Watts is the coordinator for the Alzheimer's Society and chair of Enfield DAA.
And now a letter from Kieran McGregor of Monastery Gardens in Enfield. On September 10th, I attended the public meeting of the North Middlesex NHS Hospital Trust, at which the decision to close services at Chase Farm this winter was rubber-stamped. It was a public meeting, and I was disappointed that not a single elected representative, MP or councillor, was present to question the validity of the decision. The absence of elected representatives is outrageous, given the pre-election promises from representatives of all political parties to campaign Save Services at Chase Farm. I trust our politicians will turn out in force and express their views at the final decision meeting in Barnet on September 25th.
And now a letter from Ivy Beard in Littlebrook Gardens, Cheshunt. Montemeth's article, Planned Chase Farm Changes Prove the NHS Doesn't Belong to the People, Advertiser August 28th, was an inspiration for people to join in helping the campaign against the proposed downgrading of Chase Farm Hospital, with more money needed for primary care. Those wanting to help should ring 0208 807 2076. Public opinion should have been and still must be heard. The NHS belongs to the people who pay for it, with the exception of the few who try to manage it. Enfield Clinical Commissioning Group, which is made up of GPs with the ex-Primary Care Trust guiding management, has signed up to be one of 6 CCGs to be a national management pilot for The NHS Belongs to the People, another logo under which it is get-together of those few. The call to action event on September 5th was for invited guests only, and another presentation of proposals claiming that public opinion agrees with them when clearly it does not. On September 25th, the Barnet, Enfield and Haringey CCGs are set to meet again, undoubtedly to make a decision or not to go forward with the flawed hospital proposals to downgrade Chase Farm. There is also to be yet another protest march and demonstration by residents through Enfield from the War Memorial on Saturday, October 26th, to keep Chase Farm A&E, maternity and paediatrics on site.
And I have a letter from Franklin Brady of Cobbett Close, EN3. And he says, losing your sight can affect mobility, independence, employment opportunities and confidence. Yet the number of people in the UK with sight loss is set to double by 2050 to nearly 4 million. It is vital that local authorities put plans in place to tackle avoidable sight loss. Research from the Royal National Institute of Blind People, RNIB, shows nearly half of all local authorities in England do not include any or very little information on sight loss in the needs assessment of their local population. So I have written to my local councillor to ask them to make sure they plan for the future so that people in our area do not lose their sight unnecessarily. RNIB has developed tools and information which can support local authorities to do this as part of their Don't Lose Sight campaign. Other readers can help end unnecessary sight loss at www.rnib.org.uk/SOS. As a person with sight loss, it is important that there are services I can access that offer me support so I can live independently. I have mental health issues, and if these services are cut, it will have a detrimental impact not only on myself, but other residents in my borough with similar conditions.
A man who was shot dead in Enfield 6 years ago was armed with 2 guns and wearing bodily armour when he was killed, a court heard last week. Duane Tomlin, 21, who was armed with a loaded handgun and a pistol and wearing body armour, was shot in Dendridge Close in the early hours of July the 5th, 2007, after the minicab in which he was travelling had been ambushed at a car park on the Elsinge estate, the Old Bailey was told on Thursday. Robert Bernard, 30, of no fixed address, and Adrian Thomas, 29, of Lion Road, Edmonton, deny murdering Mr. Tomlin. Detective Inspector Mark Brooks, of the Metropolitan Police Trident Gang Crime Command, told the court he had recovered the guns from the minicab at the scene of the shooting later that day. 2 days later, Mr. Brooks said a rucksack was retrieved from behind shrubbery near Southbury Road, Bush Hill Park. It contained 3 handguns, loose rounds of ammunition, and a loaded magazine. The guns were later discovered to have been used in the killing. Detective Constable Anna Starling of Enfield Police, the first officer to arrive on the scene, told the court that when she got there, she found Mr. Tomlin wearing a bulletproof vest outside the minicab on the ground, and his driver, Barir Ahmed, deeply upset with his head in his hands. A witness to the aftermath of the shooting, who lived on the Elsinge estate at the time, told the court, "I was woken up by the sound of a gunshot, and I heard screaming, followed by several more gunshots. When I looked out of the window, I saw 3 vehicles doing a U-turn and driving away down the road at great speed." Jurors were told that a white van, which the prosecution argues was used in the attack, was found alight in nearby Lackmore Road minutes afterwards. A post-mortem examination revealed that Mr. Tomlin, who lived in a flat in Baker Street, Enfield, had been shot 6 times in the head and body. An international arrest warrant for Bernard, who was living in Thailand, had been issued in July last year, and he was arrested after arriving in the UK on December the 20th. Police had been searching for him for several years, and it was previously thought that he had been staying in the Caribbean. Thomas was arrested on December the 19th. Both men are also accused of possessing a firearm with intent to endanger life. The trial continues.
We have reached the end of our programme for this week. Thank you for listening. So from the team of
Joan, Beverley, Rod,
and myself, Lilian, with Cassandra and Colin on controls, it's cheerio,
bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Please remember to turn over the address label in your postal packet, put the cassette into the packet and return it to us as soon as possible in readiness for the next edition. The Enfield Talking newspaper will be with you again in 1 week's time.